The town of Maplewood, Ohio, sat quietly between cornfields and a slow-moving river that reflected the sky like a patient listener. It was the kind of place people passed through without stopping, the kind of place young people dreamed of escaping and old people feared losing. Main Street had one diner, one gas station, a hardware store, and a brick public library with tall windows and a flagpole out front. Every morning at 6, the bell above the diner door rang as farmers came in for coffee. Every evening at 7, porch lights flicked on as if choreographed. And in the middle of Maplewood lived Ethan Carter. Ethan was 16, tall and restless, with the kind of eyes that always looked past what was right in front of him. He hated Maplewood. He hated how everyone knew his name. He hated how nothing ever changed. He hated how his future felt already decided. Get out while you can, he told himself every night. His father, Tom Carter, had grown up in Maplewood and never left. He ran a small auto repair shop on the edge of town. His hands were always stained with oil, his back slightly bent, his voice calm but tired. His mother, Linda, worked part-time at the library and volunteered at church on Sundays. She believed deeply in kindness, routine, and the idea that small lives could still be meaningful. Ethan believed none of that. "I'm not ending up like this," he told his best friend Jake Miller one afternoon as they sat on the hood of Jake's rusted pickup, watching trucks pass on Route 19. "Like what?" Jake asked. "Stuck. Same job, same town, same stories." Jake shrugged. "Doesn't seem so bad." Ethan scoffed. "That's because you've already given up." Jake didn't answer. He didn't need to.
Ethan's dream was simple and huge at the same time. He wanted out. Los Angeles, New York, anywhere with tall buildings and people who didn't know his childhood nickname or his parents' names. He stayed up late watching videos about success, listening to podcasts about hustle, writing plans in a notebook he hid under his mattress. "I'll be rich by 25. I'll never come back. I'll prove them all wrong." College felt like the ticket out. A full scholarship would mean freedom. But freedom cost effort, and effort required patience, something Ethan lacked. When his father asked him to help at the shop after school, Ethan complained. "When am I supposed to live my life?" he snapped one evening. Tom wiped his hands with a rag. "This is part of life." "No, this is your life," Ethan replied, "not mine." The words hung in the air like smoke. Tom said nothing. That silence hurt more than yelling would have. The opportunity came quietly. A man named Rick Dawson moved to town and rented the old warehouse by the tracks. He drove a black SUV, wore expensive boots, and talked like someone who'd seen the world. Ethan met him at the gas station. "You're smart," Rick said after a short conversation. "You don't belong here." Those words landed exactly where Ethan's heart was weakest. Rick offered him a job, online sales, easy money, temporary. No one had to know. "Just a stepping stone," Rick said. "You want out, right?" Ethan hesitated. Then he thought of Maplewood. Of greasy hands and quiet dinners. Of a future that felt too small. He said yes. At first everything felt perfect. Cash came quickly. Ethan bought new clothes, a phone his parents couldn't afford, shoes that made heads turn at school. He lied easily. "Saved up," he said. Side gigs, he claimed. Linda noticed the change. "Where did you get the money?" she asked gently. Ethan smiled. "Don't worry, Mom, I've got it handled." But lies grow heavy. And shortcuts have edges. One night, police lights flooded the street near the warehouse. Rick disappeared, phones stopped answering, accounts froze. By morning, Ethan's name was connected to something illegal he barely understood. He wasn't arrested, but he was implicated. The scholarship committee withdrew their interest. Word spread. Maplewood, the town that never forgot, remembered everything. Ethan didn't leave his room for days. His dream collapsed faster than it had formed. Tom didn't yell, he didn't lecture. He just sat outside Ethan's door. "I messed up," Ethan whispered one night. "I know," Tom said. "I ruined everything." "No," Tom replied, "you ruined a plan, not your life." Ethan laughed bitterly. "What do you know about dreams?" Tom stood slowly. I had dreams too, he said quietly. I just didn't chase them the wrong way. That was the first time Ethan realized his father might be more than a mechanic.
Ethan finished high school with no scholarship and no grand exit. He worked at the auto shop. At first, it felt like punishment. Then something strange happened. He learned. He listened. He fixed things, real things. Engines didn't care about ego. They responded to patience, honesty, and effort. One afternoon, an old man thanked Ethan for fixing his truck. "You saved me," the man said. It felt better than money ever had. Months passed. Ethan enrolled in a local community college. He studied business, not dreams of shortcuts, but systems, ethics, responsibility. He volunteered. He apologized, to his parents, to Jake, to himself. 4 years later, Ethan stood at the edge of Maplewood again. This time, with a degree earned honestly. With experience gained slowly. With a letter of acceptance to a university in Chicago. Linda cried. Tom hugged him longer than expected. "You coming back?" Tom asked. Ethan smiled. "Maybe," he said. "But not because I'm stuck."
Years later, when people asked Ethan where he was from, he didn't hesitate. Maplewood, he said proudly. Because he had learned something most people never do. There are no real shortcuts to a meaningful life. Dreams don't fail, people abandon patience. And sometimes the place you want to escape is the place that teaches you who you are.